G'day everyone. I hope you're doing well, and welcome back to the channel and the completed peri-plastic French Hussars. If you remember back to previous videos, I introduced that I was going to be working on these. They took me quite a long while to do. There is a lot of work in Hussars, that's for sure. Man alive. But yeah, and you find yourself going back over and checking and looking for bits you've missed. There's so many areas that require paint. So yes, as I said, this is the 2nd Regiment. I chose these guys because I tend to be quite interested in the Peninsular War, and these guys were in the Peninsula. And they have that like a chestnut brown police and dolman, and they tended to have like a mid blue or hussar blue trousers. So it's not not a like an indigo based blue like a regular French soldier. It's more of a mid blue, but not as light as the really light sky blue that you see on some other hussar units. Yeah, so I chose to paint up a couple as elite, just because they're fun with their busbies. I mean, it's not, the proportions aren't, I suppose, strictly accurate. And now I've just picked 8 as a number, so there's a couple of sprues left in the box. But to build another unit of 8, I'd need to get in a another just one command sprue, basically, just to make up the 2 figures. So yeah, there's quite a lot of reference material out there. I've got some books that I think I showed on a previous episode, but I also did a lot of online looking and things, and there's a lot of variation and in the sources, and obviously the look of things changed on campaign. So you can see quite a spectrum of different details over the time, the way things would change. The Shabrak cover, this is just one example. Is it Shabrak? No, it's Shabratash. What's a Shabrak then? Oh, anyway, I get confused. There's a lot of terminology, isn't there, with Napoleonic uniforms? Yeah, so this is just one variation that I saw in looking for references, that I thought, yeah, I could paint that. That's achievable. And it's a nice, the Perrys give you a nice flat surface to paint on there. So that is certainly one of the versions that has been recorded. But there are other versions with eagles on them and whatnot, but this was something I could do. And the little 2 on the blanket roll as well. Yeah, so I haven't with these. I've chosen not to put any white markings on them. I know sometimes people, soldiers would seek out horses that didn't have markings on them, and it's not unusual, particularly if you're handpicking the sort of horses you want in your unit. So I just decided not to put any white markings. I think on this occasion, partly for simplicity, and partly so that the eye wouldn't be drawn away as much from the actual hussar. So they're nice looking horses, and I've tried my best to paint them up as they deserve. But I just thought on this occasion the white markings would distract you a little from the actual hussars themselves, because they're quite magnificent with all their lace and finery. So yeah, I've taken a bunch of pictures, which I'll put at the end, because you don't get a very good view here with me just twiddling them around. So there's the officer. So instead of having the white lace and stuff, he's got silvered lace, and his coat has a like a sort of off-white, creamy coloured fur trim instead of the black fur trim that the others have got, and I give him a nice lining of red. Yeah, all the and silvered lace and stuff. And the trumpeter has the typical sort of, has a grey. I've gone for he's a kind of a darker dappled grey. Sometimes you see quite light ones. Sorry, hands in the way. And so yeah, he's got that reverse of colours. So with the brown overalls and with the blue jacket. So yeah, but often on campaign, and would be nice to paint a unit this way, would be to have them just in the outer jacket. Now, which one? I get mixed up. Which one is the dolman and which one is the police? But the outer one, they would often on campaign wear just the outer one, and they would have a vest underneath, so they didn't have the other jacket flapping over their shoulder like that on campaign. So yeah, you just tend to get a lot of the equipment with simplified for practicality. You don't want too many extra accoutrements hanging off you, and you're more likely to see covered shakos. Like we've got a mix here of some sort of full dress stuff, like the officer and the trumpeter, and obviously the coal packs, the Busby things, their plumes out. But yeah, often this covered shako was a common sight on the campaign, and I've given them the overalls rather than the other trousers with the hussar braid on them, and the boots and stuff like that. So it's sort of like a mix between campaign and a dress uniform. So yeah, get a bit of everything. So yeah, very pleased with how they turned out. As I said, there was a lot of work involved, but I think they shaped up pretty well in the end. I hope you guys like them. Hopefully they go into a good home. Just waiting to hear back from a chap about that. I will show you, just in case anyone's interested, that hussar blue on this occasion. Now I can't remember the name of the website where I have mentioned it before. No, I can't remember. It's gone. But he talks about using this combination. So I used, to achieve that blue, I used Vallejo flat blue, and then the wash layer and stuff, and then adding in not up to this on its own, but adding this azure into that in varying quantities to get the highlights, just sort of lightening it up, because as you can see, this one is quite light, so I haven't gone that light. And unfortunately, one of the downsides of this particular, and you find it sometimes with some colors, was that I could shake it as much as you like, for ages. It would still come out and have like a satin sheen to it. It wouldn't dry matte, even though it says flat blue. It wouldn't dry matte. It would dry with a slight satin sheen. So good thing. Good thing I got ultra matte varnish. So that took it back down again. Now for the hussar jackets, this is not 100% useful, but now this is going to be no good to you, because this is typical of Reaper paints. The label is faded to oblivion. I'm not sure what that said. It part of a leather triad, I think. Yeah, so you can see it's quite a dark reddish brown. That's described, the brown of the 2nd Hussars is described as chestnut. So it's possible you could, as your base colour, substitute Vallejo flat brown, but this Reaper one tends to be, and it doesn't show up on the camera, but in reality, let's have a look. Yeah, the Reaper one is a bit more desaturated, and it's not as red when it comes out. Yeah, it's not as red. Yeah, and it's desaturated. Yeah, I just said that. So anyway, but you could use this. You could try that. And then I use the AK Interactive Saddle Brown to get my highlighting, my mixing up toward this. I don't think I use pure this. I think it may still have had some of that in it. So, do that however you see fit if you want to try my suggestions. Right. So yeah, you could go up more highlight layers, but they're quite reasonably colourful already. If you want, you could go to a little bit more. I did initially think about possibly putting some of this in, orange leather, to get it up even further in places, but decided not to in the end. Because you've got some nice contrasts with the bright. The whites are fairly bright. Again, I haven't used pure white. I've built it up in various tones, and then my highest white is Vallejo off-white. I tend not to use pure white. Yeah. So, there you go, guys. I hope you like them. Up next, I'm really hoping a parcel's going to arrive soon with some more. The next wave of silver bayonet stuff. I've been told it's going to be coming soon, so I'm looking forward to doing that, getting stuck into that. So yeah, I have started to glue together some more Hussar horses. But yeah, as I said, if to complete a unit, I'd need that extra sprue. But yeah, I've got plenty of the other Napoleonics waiting there in their boxes that I can do things with. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching. As I say, there should be a slideshow of pictures afterwards. And hopefully that'll give you a much better idea than just this video with my hand reaching over in front. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. As always, if you're watching this video later, sometimes people watch my videos years or months later at least, and want me to better try and remember what the colors I used were. And 9 times out of 10, I can't remember. So get in while it's hot, as it were. If there's any questions, I'll try and remember if it's close to the time I've actually painted them. But yes, I'm so glad that a number of people have commented. I've seen Lee on Battle Bunker commented about that. He picked up that book, and other people have left comments for me saying that they picked up that book. I'm really glad that's useful to people, because I've found it a very useful book. I own a number of different little painting volumes on subjects, and some of the painting books I've bought I didn't find particularly useful, and I ended up selling them on. But that is one, the Javier Gomez one, I've come back to again and again. It's just practical. There's some very practical stuff in there. Even if it's not completely your style of painting, there are still some really handy tips in there. And again, I've used the theory in there for my color choices for horse painting. But you don't have to stick with those. As I've also recommended before, there's a great YouTube channel that I believe is still up there, although new content isn't being added at this stage. Loki's Great Haul. He has Andy has some fabulous horse painting tutorials on there, all using Vallejo paints, and you'll find some other combinations on there as well that are really useful. So I'm glad that was useful for some folks. Yeah, be nice to better recommend some other books as well, and maybe I will sometime if I think of what they are. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the pictures, and I hope to see you soon with something else interesting that I've painted and I can share with you all. All the best, and catch you later. Bye.